Hello everyone and welcome to Gearhead Entertainment. Today is Sundays with Steve and we're going to be playing the Fall of the Trident campaign, level 15. Let's go. This level it's pretty easy. It's relatively straightforward. The difficult part is that it just takes time. I'd like to think that I've learned a little bit of my lesson from the last episode, so I've gone ahead. After the fact, I'm going to go through and just cut out some of the portions that aren't really all that interesting. But let's go ahead and start off by saving. That's always a great place to start. I like to save after a cutscene, saves you a few seconds. And then we're just going to... Right now, we're still in prison. We've just... Amanra has just broken people out. And we're going to have to stay alive until people show up. So if I were a little bit faster, that turtle could have stopped the transport ship, and so I'm going to leave the turtle here in this general area, and he'll stop the next couple transports come through. In the meantime, just slow it down, let Arkantos and the rest of the heroes deal most of the damage. When the turtle goes to buck other ships, it stuns them for a bit. Now, it is annoying because you can't cancel this animation, but it's stunned long enough that this turtle is going to be able to sink this transport, which means that's one fight that my guys aren't going to have to deal with. And down it goes. So let's get these guys away from the beach. Those are our transports, so let's go ahead and get on board. And I'm going to have the turtle do most of the work. If I can get my transports away and let the arrow ships attack this other arrow ship, that would be great. I'd like to keep them both alive if at all possible. Let's try and change it to the other one. There we go. Again, ships still do full damage even if they're like 1% health. So if you can keep them alive and let something else soak up the damage, all the better. That's what our war turtle is here for. So I'm going to take full advantage of that. The war turtle is going to kind of be a vanguard and a scout. We just need to get down to this blue settlement in the corner and not lose our transports. I was really hoping that the arrow ships would not be the ones to get fired upon, but it happens. They're still alive. If I can keep at least one out of two, that'd be great. Let's see, fishing ships. I think that is something, if I wanted, I could turn off the special attacks. Most of the time with myth units, you can turn off their specials, or at least you can make it so that they don't automatically trigger, which would be nice. In this case, I'm just going to let it happen, but that is one thing with these war turtles is, again, because it doesn't cancel the animation, we're moving a little slow. That's all right. We'll go ahead and get another war turtle, which is really nice. They're very tanky, and they are going to keep a lot of the ships that harass us. They're going to keep the ships off us. So right now, we've got an enemy to our north. I'm going to go ahead and save because I don't want to have to redo that if something happens. Let's go ahead and get these guys started on goats and just auto-train villagers. And I want at least one priest so that technically Setna heals, but it's nice to have another healer. And our pharaoh is going to be... I'm going to use the pharaoh and I'm going to empower our town center. So we'll train villagers a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and get that guy on goats. Heal up our war turtles. We want them to stay alive. They're going to protect us from other boats. We're going to get attacks coming in from the north. So as soon as I can, I want to get a spare villager and just wall off this section. Now I will say, I vaguely remember this map, this portion of the map as not having a ton of resources. But when I was playtesting it, I didn't have any problems. I do wish there were a little bit more gold starting closer to us, but it just means that you don't have all the time in the world, but it's plenty of time to build up an army, take care of the base of the north. And so that's basically what we're going to do. We need to recapture this island. Once we have control of this island, we're on easy street. We don't need to worry about anything after that. After that, it's just take all the time you need to kind of slowly work your way through the red base. Or quickly, if you can pull it off. The thing is, they've got an Osiris piece, and it teleports throughout different points in the city. And it's just easiest to go through and kind of pick one spot, wipe them out, and go from there. Okay, so here's the thing. I want a barracks before I finish building that walls. We're going to need more units. In fact, I'll probably build a couple here when I get the chance, but one for now. And I don't expect to keep most of this army beyond maybe 2 waves. Okay, they survived the one. That's good, but that's going to happen again. So we want to pull them back, keep most of the fighting at this choke point, and let's get as many reinforcements as we can. Focus on upgrades that buff the troops that you're using. So right now I'm going to use Axemen because in my mind they're probably the strongest. That's probably not true, but I'm not up against a bunch of cavalry, I'm not up against a bunch of spearmen, and I'm not really up against a bunch of peltists. So I want the Axemen. I think they're probably the best fit for my current situation. Okay, let's group these guys up. I'm going to need new houses soon, but for right now, we'll just keep training. So there is a lighthouse over here. We want to destroy it, because if we destroy it, we'll get attacked by fewer pirates. The pirates are the purple in the north of the map. I think you can wipe them out if you want. I never really bother with it. But they will harass us from time to time. So the sooner we take out that lighthouse, the better. And in fact, we're just going to do this the easy way, and I'm going to train a bunch of siege ships and harass it from the ocean. We're still going to have to deal with red naval ships, but we won't have to deal with purple, which is nice. Magenta is going to be the issue. Again, as soon as we can defeat Magenta, we're on easy street. And we're going to use our siege ships to destroy as many of their buildings as possible. They don't rebuild. So if you take out a barracks, that's a barracks they don't use to train troops. If you take out a temple, that's a temple they don't use to train troops. Which is going to be good because they've been training a lot of myth units and a lot of units in general to kind of full-on push the base here. Let's see, I think I'll be alright. I just need to take down these Petsukos and then the heroes can deal with the straggler priests. I just do not have much of an army, which is why I need that second barracks. My units, they die faster than I make them. So let's go ahead. The sooner I take out that lighthouse, the better. That kind of gets you started on taking down this base. You kind of have to chip away at it because they've also got a choke point and they've got a bigger army than you, which is kind of the name of this game when you're playing it on Ludicrous. They're always a little bit better than you, so you just kind of have to balance being clever and just being absolutely relentless. Let's see here. Go ahead and have them chop down some trees. I want to keep my turtles healed. My turtles are probably the only thing protecting me from being overwhelmed from a sea invasion, and I really cannot be dealing with that. So let's see. We'll go ahead and build a monument. I do need some favor. And we'll speed things up because right now I'm not getting a ton of pressure. You want to keep the fighting close to your base, close to this natural choke point. They can go to the left, but they never do. And I know they can go to the left because I've gone from the left to go and attack them from there, but they never do take that route. So just choke point this one area or wall it off altogether and get some slingers and a gate and just push your infantry through and let the slingers kind of pelt the army from the other side. In the more rigorous levels of this campaign, you do want to go with choke points. It seems counterintuitive because you're leaving an opening in your wall, but the enemy will go for the path of least resistance, and you want that path of least resistance. See that right there, that's pirate attack we want to stop. But anyway, you want the path of least resistance to be a place that you control, as opposed to one where they puncture in your own wall. We'll go ahead and get some slingers. If I can have the axemen soak up the damage, that would be great. And I'm going to ignore these guys for the most part. They seem stuck on the trees. I want to get rid of the ship. I want to get rid of the magenta army that keeps attacking me. But if these scarabs want to sit there, they can sit there. I don't care. Scarabs aren't particularly tough anyways, so they're decent siege. They die quickly. Let's see. Let me go ahead and take this. I do not want to risk getting hit again. Because they landed there the first time, they may not land there the second time. So let's go ahead and take these guys up. Bring them around from the kind of northeast side. Man, magenta is just relentless. let's go ahead and hit the bell. We'll see if these mercenaries get used or if they even train fast enough. I guess they train, but I don't have time to use them. I'm gonna need to get this down. Okay. I think we're all right. Oh, that's not important. Okay, that's just them teleporting the piece to a different part of the city. You'll see the parts where they teleport the piece. It will, 1, you'll always have a line of sight on the piece, and 2, they'll mark it off with flags. But that's really not my concern right now. My concern is magenta. Red's not an issue. They're not going to bother us right now. They honestly, they're pretty defensive for most of this game. It's not until you destroy magenta that they start to harass you, and it's not even that they kind of like do a land invasion. They just have ships right outside your town center, and that's kind of annoying to deal with. But by the time we get to that point, it's not going to be an issue. Man, I'm out of gold. I did not expect to be out of gold. Okay. And we're out of goats too, which is why I'm doing these farms. Farming is not the fastest method of getting food, especially early on, but it is an infinite and easy source of food because you can let your villagers go. You don't have to worry about them. They just do their own thing. I think I do want to wall this section off and get some slingers. Okay, so we do have a couple of red boats. We're not going to have to worry about them too much. They might attack you once or twice, but honestly, just kind of forget about them for a while, you'd be fine. You don't really need that dock anyways. As soon as you take down the lighthouse here, you've done all you need to from the right side. We do have a small pocket of water from the left side, and I will use that to kind of harass their camp. The more you can take out with siege ships, the better. But Red can take down this dock, it's not a big deal. They're not close enough that they can stop me from mining gold. Let's see here. Let's get our villagers set up. I would like to get them set up and just forget about them altogether. That is the ideal. The less you have to actively manage, the better. The more you can micromanage your units and your armies, the more efficient you're going to be. But the less that you have to do it, the easier your life will be. So, like those guys, they've just been doing their own thing up there. I don't have to worry about them. They'll destroy what they can, and then I can move on from there. Let's see, do I want to do that? Let's get an armory. I could use better upgrades. I could probably, if I wanted, just build some sentry towers and fortify the heck out of this spot. But for right now, I think we're in a good spot. Again, just kind of forcing them into this choke point. Slingers are doing their job behind the wall. Axemen are doing their job in front of the wall. If I can get my siege ships, see some of those, ooh, little lag. Don't worry about it. It's an autosave thing. Whenever the game autosaves, it kind of lags for half a second for me. I don't entirely know why. My computer's pretty decent. It shouldn't do that. I think it might be the game itself. But at any rate, a lot of their barracks are actually pretty close to the water, so we should be able to hit most of those from the range, and I would like to. Again, any building that we destroy is one that they're not going to bring back. Okay, I don't care for that. I'm going to take my war turtles and deal with these ships. Because I would like my walls to stay standing. I kind of need those walls to stay standing. Okay, good. We got the war turtles. War turtles should take care of the siege barges. Or the war barges, I guess. And then my war barges can go around and destroy just anything that they can. I don't know why my turtle started attacking a scarab, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. And the piece looks like it's probably moving again, but again, that's not our problem right now. Our problem is that. As soon as we get through magenta, we'll be all right. Let's sail these around north. Okay, never mind. I can't really hit much from this side, so we'll come down and that one barracks, if I can take that out, will be. Things will be a lot easier if we can do that. The other barracks is just a little bit out of range from here, and so is the temple. But we can take out one barracks from the kind of the west side, and I will do that in a bit. Let's see. Let's dump some wood and just building up there. Again, the biggest and hardest part of this level is taking control of your own island. Ignore the Petsukos. All of these boats can die. It does not matter. We just need that barracks to drop. And if I can hit that temple from here, great. If not the end of the world. Okay, don't appreciate that. If you ever want to, you can drop snakes on, or serpents on the water. You'll get kind of like sea snakes. They're not hugely useful, but they're all right. Let's see, after they're done building the market, let's build that dock, and that's where we're going to harass from. It's a very small pocket of water, but it is just enough that we can hit a barracks, and you can kind of hit the town center from there. I have found in my kind of run-throughs that the town center is well guarded enough that they will destroy your siege barges before you can do anything. But that's all right. We destroy everything but the town center, and then we hit the town center last. Again, you just kind of chip away just a little bit at a time. Every little bit that you can take away from them is going to help you. So let's get a few more villagers. And need some siege barges, or some war barges. Let's see. So it is in range to hit the town center. But see, what happens is I hit the town center is going to wreck my boat, and other people are close enough. They have like slingers and Petsukos, they can take down my siege. So we don't want to mess with that. Let's see. Get you guys on the farm. Let's get you over on the gold. Worry about wood later. I've got enough wood for at the moment. Again, I usually like 20 villagers on every resource for right now, though 10 is fine. It's not like we're missing out a ton. Come on. We've got enough resources, and right now I'm not going to focus on taking up precious command points because we're pretty well capped. Okay, that's good. So now we're not going to, now that the barracks is down, we're not going to have to deal with axemen in the next wave. We are still going to have to deal with scorpion men and Petsukos. But I think another couple of good pushes, and I should be able to take down the temple. And if I can take down the temple, then I can take down the town center without too much trouble. And I'm trying with these siege barges, but you can see they're dying faster than I can get them over to that spot. So, you know, in theory, eventually you'll be able to take down the town center like that, but it's too much work. Don't bother with that. See, I'm gonna go ahead and save. This is a good spot to save. We've taken out a couple of their barracks. It's just the temple of the town center, and I'd rather not have to redo all of this. So let's see. Let's group everybody up in an army. That's obnoxious. Okay, we'll worry about them later. I would like to get that wall segment fixed. But we don't have anything close enough to that beach to really worry about red. Okay. Let's see if I can wall that off. And these guys, I do need some more wood. I need to be able to maintain siege barges because, or the war barges, because we're not just going to need them for taking down the town center. There's a lot of things that they're useful for. The only problem with those Petsukos, they actually shred things a lot. So, like, my heroes will be alright. Everybody else just got absolutely annihilated. But this should be the last of their barracks units that we're killing right now. So as soon as I build up an army, I think I'm going to try and push their fortress. Auto train is so nice. You can't use it in multiplayer maps, and I get why, but man, is it nice. Okay. Let's see if I can chip away a little bit. Again, I don't expect these war barges to last, but if they can soften up the town center, that would be wonderful. I don't think they can hit the temple from this side. They may not be able to hit the temple from the other. If they can, great. I wasn't able to, but again, just a little bit of work on the town center. it'll be huge taking that town center too, because that'll boost our population a bit also. Making a bigger army is going to help. And I do have enough to level up. I think I'm going to go with Hathor. And there's one reason, it's because those Petsukos are broken. You used to be able to use rocks in this level. You can't anymore. That is one thing I'm not huge on. A lot of the... So in the original game, you used to be able to cheese some levels by using a rock. And I know why they got rid of it. It's because they want to make it an actual challenge. They want you to do it the right way. But it's like, okay, you're going to use every single tool in your arsenal, because the game will too. Why are you taking away that one? You know? This level could have been a walk in the park with some rocks, but nope. We'll get some upgrades though. We'll finish building up this army. I might end up building a siege works just to kind of make my life a little bit easier, but alright, let's see. If I get fortifications, I won't get a ton, but I'll get a few more units. I really need you guys to stop taking out my army before I can hit you. See if I can get these Petsukos taken down early, I can keep most of my army. Again, it's a pretty standard Ludicrous map. They're going to continually hit you with wave after wave. It just depends on how big the wave is and how many resources you have. That's what makes the level difficult. And in this one, we have a decent amount of resources. The waves are relatively small. It's just annoying. So we're just gonna take those guys out real quick. Might be able to get that relic at some point. That'd be nice. And I need them to stop taking down my walls. That would be lovely. Oh, forget it. Okay, let's if I can bait some of their army out, that would be nice. You can see most of it's actually most of it's like set animals now, because we've destroyed a lot of stuff. And that Petsukos is going to be annoying. I just need to carve my way through to their temple. Come on. Draw out a couple people. Oh, good. I've got an extra. I was thinking I just lost half my army. I've got nothing to replace them. Auto train, people. It is lovely. Okay, let's kill the Petsukos before that shreds our army. Kill some priests before they can heal people. And I'm not going to worry too much about the set animals. They get killed really easy by pretty much anyone. Okay, we got a straight shot. Drop the temple as soon as you can. That's going to stop them from training any real army to speak of. And then you can take down the town center at your leisure. I'm going to take some axemen too. They don't have a ton of crush damage necessarily, but they do melee damage, which is going to do more than... I meant to face that in a different direction. Melee damage is going to do more than range damage against buildings most of the time. So, especially right now, since I don't have Burning Pitch. Oh, those crocodiles. So useful when you have them. So annoying to fight. They're not like, again, well, so they don't have like a ton of health, but they do good damage. And that's what makes them annoying, is that they can shred your units. Alright, but I don't have to worry about them anymore. Let's drop this town center. Oop, autosave. And I'm going to go ahead and, if I build this, I'm going to build this fortress and level up, and then I'm going to build a siege works. So, we'll go from there. Once I drop this town center, there's going to be a lot of tedious base building. I'm going to reorganize some stuff, so you're going to see me cut that from the final video. Don't worry about that. It saves you, you're not missing anything. You're just... I'm just saving some time. Let's go ahead and bring the war barges over. They can help. They're not going to do a ton, but they can help. Let's see, building. Okay, that's. And then let's go ahead and build a siege works, maybe over here for now. Again, I'm going to rework my base entirely, but for right now, let's just get it down. Come on. If I can kill some of these villagers, that'd be nice too. I don't want them repairing or rebuilding anything. fortress will go down. Okay, so there's a lot of villagers. They like to hide them in their sentry towers. So, also, I'm pretty sure you used to only be able to hide like 5 villagers to a sentry tower. I remember it being a relatively small amount in the original game. I feel like they've upped it. Okay. I do need more gold, so we'll get that started. And you guys can start chopping down some trees. It's a lot of health on this town center. I mean, I'm basically, I've got heroes and ranged units, so it's not like a ton of stuff anyways, but let's siege. Again, we're basically, the hard part of this level is about to end right now. I'm just gonna cut as soon as I just cut this part out here in a second, and fast forward to when the base is built. But let's go ahead and drop this town center. Okay, so I've completely reworked things. I've got 4 fortresses with a villager monument in the middle. The idea there is I can empower the monument and train units faster. I think that might only work with Set, but I do have the upgrade from Thoth that allows me to train 2 units for the price of 1. And then I'm going to take a bunch of boats and attack this northern segment, and I'm going to take villagers and do a land invasion. The villager is going to build unit production, and I'm just going to train an army from there. Because I rearranged my base so I could efficiently build an army, and it just didn't work that well. Used purple. I thought about messing with them. Not really going to do it. Don't think it's really worth my time. The town center might be nice, but it's not that big of a deal. I also tried, so there's a little natural bay that red has. It's pretty well defended. It's got a couple of sentry towers. The sentry towers aren't really the issue. The big issue is it's got like 3 naval docks, or naval shipyards, basically, and then it's got docks on top of that, so they train a bunch of units. It's just easier to attack from the north. You get a bunch of siege ships. I mean, those buildings go down fast. These towers are not going to be a threat. So this is the idea. I'm just going to kind of carve through here. You'll probably see me. I expect this to be kind of tedious, so I'll probably go through and cut some of the more tedious parts of this part as well. But let's go ahead and get a transport ship. And once we get villagers up here, I'm going to probably siege works and a barracks to start, and then maybe a fortress in order to start training some fortress units. See, look at that. I can drop a fortress from here, and I'm out of, oh man, I have so much room to build in this area. Okay, good. Transport ships ready. I'm kind of maxed out on population, so that is hindering me. Once I've entirely cleared all the resources in my island, I'll probably kill off some villagers, train a few camels, and I should have a net plus 10 population, I think, at that point. So more for an army. You can see I'm not really hurting for resources. I've pretty well cleared off that island. I've got a good amount of resources. We're in good shape. It's at this point where if I start building production buildings, like unit production buildings, I can just mass produce units and not worry about the cost. So it is good to be in this part of the game. Destroy that. And I'm going to take them, and I'm going to go. I've destroyed a lot of the sentry towers already. I'm going to see if I can get that last one and maybe a couple of shipyards. We'll see what happens. But I don't really need them up there anymore. We're just going to drop our villagers right here. I would say, I think I mentioned this earlier. Red will continually attack your base with ships after you take down Magenta, but a few of the catapults will pretty much annihilate a fleet. So just get like 3 of 5. You're not going to have to worry about an invasion or harassment from the beaches. Let's see here. I really like the Egyptian catapults. They're pretty effective. Like the heavy siege towers are nice, but the catapults have the range. And, I mean, they're pretty easy to take down, but they also drop buildings pretty quickly. So, Oh, good. This worked out. Okay, so yeah, we're going to take out those shipyards and... Good. Take out as many as we can. Again, the more we take out, the fewer units they create. That's a lot of ships. See, that's why this was difficult. There's just so many ships. Our turtles are doing a lot, but they can only do so much. Let's drop that one last dock. And these catapults are going to go through, and they're just going to completely... they're going to wipe out everything they can. There is a big army nearby, right past this town center in this kind of shadow... Well, a little bit south of here, but... we're just going to try and wipe them out as best I can. I kind of got stopped. Because the catapults got killed, but the army's still there, so I'm just going to wipe them out. So one other thing I noticed, and this is odd, I don't know if this is a bug for the level or a bug for the god power or if this is an intentional thing, but there's no cooldown on serpents. You can cast it as many times as you have favor, as quickly as you want. And what's nice about that is it means that if we build up an army over here, we can just kind of bait them into the serpents. So that's what I'm gonna do. You can see there's a big army. This is smaller than what it was, but it's a big army. The catapult was only able to do so much before these guys murdered it. So, but you know they kind of stay over there. I think it's because an Osiris piece is supposed to teleport to this area, and so they just kind of naturally guard where the piece is supposed to be. But because of that, they're not really going to attack any of my unit production buildings. And if they come to attack my chariots, then they're gonna have to deal with serpents. So. It's pretty decent. I should have cast my serpents a little bit farther forward, but live and learn. Okay, let's see here. Fortress. Probably cut out some of this because this is gonna be tedious. There's a lot to kill, but it's just you train a bunch of chariots, a bunch of special units, and just kind of carve through this area. There's a choke point to the south, so I'll kill these units in choke point south and just sweep down south. Let's see. Yeah, you can. The bait's only sort of working. They kind of follow. Kind of. Okay, so I went through, I wiped out that army, and I've kind of built a forward base up here as well, kind of 4 of each production building. I did end up having a lot of leftover chariots, so we'll see what they can do. I have a feeling they're going to get wiped out pretty quickly, but whatever little they can do. And again, I can just look at this. It's so many serpents. I don't know why there's no cooldown. Does not make any sense to me, but it's not a big deal. So the advantage here, you can see, I've got so many production buildings, so I can just train a ton of whatever I want. We're going to start with some elephants. I like the elephants; they're pretty tanky, and Thoth gives them pretty good upgrades. So we're going to go with our upgraded war elephants, and whatever I can't do with them, I'm just going to mass produce some units and just completely annihilate these guys. And I've got these spare leftover villagers. Build some farms. You can actually take over hostile farms with your villagers. You just right-click on them and you convert them to your own. It's a feature I never really use. I've never really seen the AI use it. I don't know if this is something other people do, but you can. It's there. It's an option, I guess, if you want. Farms aren't that expensive, so nobody really does it, but you could. Once we finish this portion, they're not going to have that much left. I mean, there's just... the northern portion of the map, the northeastern portion, I guess is technically the eastern portion, but the area where I built up now, that was their biggest concentration of units. This is their second biggest concentration of units. So once we take this down, it's going to be a walk in the park. Again, you could probably do this faster if you wanted. I'm taking my time. But even then, it's not that difficult. It's just kind of tedious. Like I said, it's kind of a war of attrition. So, all my hotkey buildings, I'm just going to auto-train units. Whatever smattering we get, it's just going to carve through these guys. assume that wonders for show. It doesn't really seem to be doing anything for them. I haven't seen them cast a bunch of god powers or anything. And the myth units seem relatively normal. Okay, put that guy there. If I really wanted right now, I could just kind of push south, that'd be fine. But I'm just gonna keep wiping my way through here. You know, these guys have, it is something, you know, you put in all this effort to kind of build up a base, build up an army, and then it just kind of stops like that. You know, I don't particularly care for it. I like to take my time and destroy some stuff. You don't have to. I mean, again, at this point, the army's big enough, the amount of resources I'm generating is big enough, we just sweep south. But it's satisfying to destroy a lot of their older buildings. Since this level is basically over, though, because, again, at this point, it's just me kind of goofing around, I might as well take some time to talk about what's coming next. So, in the next level, I believe it's called Good Advice, A Good Plan, something like that. I think it's Good Advice. Arkantos is going to get a vision. And in this vision, he is going to be in command of an army that is going to wipe out the city of Atlantis. And we get to control them, which is a lot of fun. It's also a massive pain in the butt. So the first half of the level is just kind of annoying because it's just you, and then I think at some point you get Young Caster. And then you have an army that needs to break free from the underworld, which is, it's one of those, you can't train new units, you just kind of have to make do with what you got and make sure that every interaction is perfect. So that's kind of annoying. And then after that, it's kind of similar to this. We have to take our units and we have to land on another island and hope that, just hope that we're not going to get harassed too hard, but we will. They actually harass you pretty easily. There's a couple of wide open spots, so it's a little bit more difficult to choke point. Your villagers are going to die all the time, which makes it hard to keep a good cash flow going. We will get a Statue of Lightning, so that's fun, but you have to keep it alive if you want to use it. At least we should get a Statue of Lightning. I'm assuming they kept it for this game. They had it in the old one. See that? That wasn't even close to a base. That was just kind of pathetic. If I take out this barracks, I shouldn't train anybody, I don't think. But at any rate, so in that next level, it's going to be us. It'll be the one and only time we get to play as Hades in the campaign, which is kind of fun. Though they make all of the wrong choices for Hades, but that's not really important. We'll take control of Hades, and we'll be up against Poseidon. It's going to be a little bit dicey, so it's just... Again, one of the things that makes this game difficult is just the constant supply of attackers that you have to deal with and turn back with not enough resources and not enough troops. And that is going to be the next level to a T. So we'll get ready for that. We don't have to worry too much. I mean, it is still doable. It's just... it's a fun level. It's just a really hard level. So be forewarned. We'll deal with that. After that, we're going to go around collecting Osiris pieces, and that can get a little tricky. The Amanra level is pretty easy. The Arkantos and Ajax level is pretty easy. The Chiron level is difficult as all get out, because Egypt relies very heavily on gold, and there's not a lot of gold in that level. In fact, there's not a lot of anything in that level, except for enemies. So that's going to be fun. The trick there, that's one of those levels where you really have to be able to kind of manage your resources and take advantage of renewable resources, but man, I don't know, it's a difficult level, so we'll get through it in one piece, but be forewarned, we're getting into some harder ones now, so it'll be a little bit tricky, but today's an easy one. Like I said, today's just easy, but tedious, so there we go. We just have to get this box down to the blue flag, and then that's it. So thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you for watching today's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next week.